Hey, Mike the Marketing Medic here, and I am in my backyard cutting firewood, and something happened today that definitely applies to me and you and our business, okay? And I want to explain what that is. Might not make any sense right now, but it will in a second. Okay, this is what happens when I cut firewood. I come out in the late winter when everything's still frozen, I cut down a bunch of trees. Okay, I do it then because that's when the trees are the driest. If I was to cut down a tree now, there's a lot of water running up from the ground into the leaves. There's a lot of sap running down from the leaves into the roots. So I don't want to cut a tree in the summer when there's water and sap running through it. So it's best to do it in the winter. So I cut the tree down in the winter while it's as dry as possible, standing. And then I come back in the summer or the fall and I split it up. Okay. Now, if you look above me, and I don't think you can really see, but all the leaves that you can see above me look like this. They are maple leaves, and that is the type of tree that I wanted to cut down because maple is a nice hardwood. It burns long, burns consistent, and it's just a good wood for burning in the wood stove. So that's what I thought I cut down last winter. But today, when I came in, I was cutting up the logs, as you can see here. The saw was just going through a lot easier than it usually does. I was like, oh, I did a really good job sharpening my chain. But there's this voice in the back of my head saying, you know what, I think this is basswood. Now, the thing about basswood is it has a bark very similar to maple. It's very similar, but basswood is a deciduous tree like maple, but it's a softwood as opposed to maple being a hardwood. So it doesn't burn as well. But here's the thing. I went to a lot of work today to come and get this tree and bring it back to the house to split and dry. And so I just wanted it to be maple so bad that I was, just willing it to be maple. And I wasn't accepting the intuition I had. I wasn't listening to that inner voice that says, you know what, Mike, this is basswood. Quit bringing it to the house. But I wouldn't listen to that voice. And I think that's true in our business so often. Quite often, there will be an inner voice saying, you know what, this offer is not the right offer for this audience. This offer is not working. I know you love this product or service that you've created, but it's not resonating. But we keep pushing because we love it and we want it to be so bad. But we're not listening to that inner voice. We're not listening to our audience. So that's the moral of this message today, is to listen to your inner voice because it's smart. It's smarter than your outer voice. And when I was a paramedic, my base hospital physician used to say, oh, so if we would come across a patient that had a respiratory compromise, unconscious, whatever, and we were concerned for their airway, we might consider intubating them, putting a tube down their throat. And what Dr. Mazda used to say is, if you ever ask yourself, should I intubate this patient? The answer is always yes, because that's your inner voice telling you that this patient needs to be intubated. So that question alone is reason enough to do the task. All right. So think about that with things that you're doing in your business right now that you know it's wrong, but you're pushing because you want it to work so bad. Maybe you need to change things, and maybe there's another way around. Right. This basswood here, where is it? There it is. No, where is it? There it is. It's not wasted, because I have a wood stove in my house where I like to burn hardwoods, and I have an evaporator in the sugar shack where I like to make maple syrup. And we like to burn softwoods in the sugar shack, so I can use this basswood there. Okay, and it's the same with that offer that's not working. It's the same with that product that's not selling at the high ticket price. You can still find a place for those things, but maybe not where you're using them right now. All right, so I hope that helps. Give that some thought. And if you have any questions or if you want to share what epiphanies you had, I'd love to hear them in the Facebook group. All right, gang. I'm going to get back to firewood, and we'll talk to you next time. Okay, bye-bye.